Joining us now is the first Democratic member of Congress to call on Biden to leave the race, Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett. Congressman, I know you also have not yet endorsed Kamala Harris. You think there should be a mini primary. But I wonder what you make of all the enthusiasm that we're hearing out there. $80 million in fundraising since Joe Biden made his announcement. And you're seeing a number of elected Democrats coming out and getting behind her, including the people who would be considered her rivals, a lot of them in a race in a mini primary, and potentially, you know, the speaker or the leader of the House and the majority leader in the Senate. Do you still feel that a mini primary is the best way to go?
Well, I think these announcements are great. There is a new level of enthusiasm. A moment ago, Katie, you really described the condition we were in a month ago. It was not just the debate. It was a long year of lagging behind Trump and seeing his threat to our country grow. After the debate, when we had a setback instead of a surge, I called 3 weeks ago for the president respectfully to step aside. It's taken a long 3 weeks, but given where we are and given the fact that the vice president seems to have cleared the field of all of the mentioned candidates that might be out there contesting this, while I've advocated for a fair, open, and democratic process, I think we'll end up with one candidate for our nomination, and she's a candidate that I could feel very enthusiastic about.
Sounds like you're almost ready to endorse her, Congressman.
I think we will see that endorsement from our leaders probably later today. Speaker Pelosi, former Speaker Pelosi, just announced an endorsement. I don't see any opposition, and I plan to participate in the meeting tonight of our Texas delegation, one of the larger delegations, several hundred Texans who I expect will endorse her. My concern about an open primary or a process with town halls, while I think that would have been very helpful, to some extent she's accomplishing that and showing that she's not just the product of a Washington agreement or Washington insiders, by getting these state delegations all over the country and by getting the governors behind her. And we'll do that, I think, tonight in Texas. And as you mentioned, she's on her way to getting $100 million in 24 hours. That's a mighty good indication of the new level of enthusiasm we have for taking on a criminal with a prosecutor, someone who's prosecuted fraud, sex abuse, rape, and someone who's committed all of those offenses. I think it's a clear contest.
Just a little bit of news, Congressman, and it's Chris Jan saying that Maryland Governor Wes Moore has said that he has no interest in being a vice presidential candidate, although he was repeatedly pressed on whether or not, if offered it, he would take it. He wouldn't say he would turn it down, but he said, I have no interest. He does not plan on it. But let me ask you about this idea of folks getting behind Kamala Harris and play some of what House Speaker Mike Johnson said today about the Democrats' process of choosing a new nominee. And he has some questions about legal issues he says might come up. Here it is.
I expect that there will be litigation over that. So we'll see how it develops. We're doing our job here in Washington. The states will be handling that. But I do think it's problematic. I think millions of the American people believe that this is problematic. This is not the way the system is supposed to work. There's a reason it's unprecedented. You don't just, steamroll the rules and the process because you decide that your candidate is no longer suitable.
Were rules and process steamrolled here? Do you think there could be a problem, Congressman?
I think Republicans will do anything to try to keep her off the ballot wherever they can, or to limit her funding, because they know she is surging and is likely to defeat their nominee. We have such a contrast between the old Trump and the new generation Kamala Harris. I think we'll be successful, but we may have to, they're always out there trying to suppress the vote. We're trying to bring it out. I'm sure there'll be much litigation, but I think ultimately any fair court will allow the Democrats to have a nominee on the ballot in every state.